I'm Karen Calloway. There exists a classic hero's journey, a sort of template fiction writers use that involves a hero who goes on an adventure, learns a lesson, wins a victory with that newfound knowledge, and then returns home transformed. What I've learned is that we also have a career journey. I'm interviewing people who I think have had extraordinary careers to learn about when they launched their career, what obstacles they faced, and lessons learned. And as part of the book launch activities for Keepers of the Pact, a story of friendship, adventure, and the deepest mysteries of the sea, I'm interviewing people who have their careers by the ocean, and I'm very excited today to have a real mermaid. Finally, hello, Raina.
Hi, everybody.
Raina owns and runs the award-winning company Halifax Mermaids, a subsidiary of Canadian Mermaids. Raina was one of the first professional mermaids in Canada to get her start in 2008. She's recognized internationally as a pioneer in the mermaid community when it comes to working with children and educating others. She is the author of a series of fishy business books, which she created to help empower, educate, and inspire others who wanted to perform and make a difference in the world. Raina gives talks and workshops based on her books, both online and in person. She's based here in Atlantic, Canada, and her company provides environmental education, entertainment for all ages, tourism events, birthday parties, seminars, corporate events, underwater performing and filming, and advocacy work with volunteering. We'll put her website up at the end so you can have a look. Raina, all right, let's talk about you. So when and where did you launch your career as a professional mermaid?
I didn't start out as a professional thing. I was very interested in mermaids, and I found this sort of idea of being a professional mermaid was very new when I was in my early 20s. There was a handful of women doing it around the world, and I found them in a time of my life where I really just needed some inspiration. It kind of calls back to that hero going on a journey, you know? And I started to research, and I found this wonderful woman who I ended up getting a tattoo of, Annette Kellerman. She was the first professional mermaid 100 years ago. You don't know her name, but you know what she did because she is the founder of water ballet, which became synchronized swimming. She invented the modern day bathing suit, which she was arrested for wearing. And she was coping with a lot of the same difficult things that I was coping with, like health issues that caused pain. So in researching about her and then seeing these handful of other women doing it online, and then really the spark that just set it off was just I saw the film Splash from the 80s come on TV, and seeing how they did the mermaid with Daryl Hannah in this film was just amazing. And it opened my mind to the fact that these sort of costumes could be created. So I got my first costume, and I was really kind of terrible at it. I wasn't a good swimmer at the time, didn't understand the mechanics, didn't have the right tools, but I tried it out anyway.
Were you actually a seamstress?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm still not. I'm still not. And I wasn't even a swimmer. Like I had to
This
take
makes so much sense
lessons.
then.
I had to take lessons later on. My poor husband had to save me from drowning once. Like it's a whole thing, right? I was not innately good at any of this. I was just innately drawn to the mermaid.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this swimming in this tail. I think I look stupid. I'm really negative, but my boyfriend, who's now my husband's taking pictures at the time. I got home, I see the pictures, and it's like, whoa, I actually do look like a mermaid. This is amazing.
Wow.
It didn't become a job right away. It was something I sort of dabbled in on the side, doing a few events here or there while I did my degrees. But then it became a necessity. When I graduated with my second degree, I just could not find work in my field. And I'd spent my entire life up until this point trying to be in this field. And then it wasn't anything I could do. It wasn't lack of effort. The opportunity was just not there.
Right.
So I went for career counseling, and they said, why don't you make this mermaid thing your job? And I'm thinking, I didn't get
There's no one ever, right?
right? Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't get 2 degrees to be a mermaid. Like, how in the hell do I make this my job? They hooked me up with career counseling. They hooked me up with business mentoring, helped me build a business plan. And literally, just out of necessity, this thing that used to be sort of a side hobby where I got a little income, it became really validated, really structured. I drew from my 2 degrees in order to build it, started adding more people, won some awards, won some grants. And then it was like once the grant money came and it sort of legitimized what we were doing, the whole world opened opened up to us.
Tell me about being on film set. Like that must be really cool to be on a film set and tell us
Yeah,
about the
film
experiences.
sets are really fun, and we have sort of lined ourselves up in Nova Scotia as a bit of a niche. Not a lot of people do underwater filming, not a lot of people do underwater stunts. So sometimes I'm just consulting or helping train people to do underwater stunts, or sometimes we're doing the filming because we have the gear and we know what we're doing. But more often than not, I am getting to be a mermaid. So I did this really wonderful music video for Heather Rankin, which was like
Oh,
a dream come true. I grew up in choir, doing choir camps, singing the Rankin family
wow.
songs. I was so excited to meet her, and she was so excited to meet me. That was
That's
really
great.
cool. So picture this: Heather Rankin does not know how to swim, but she has this whole concept for a music video where it's based on this cultural myth that heaven is actually underwater and the mermaids are serving the purpose as angels. So the mermaids are coming to the drowned people to bring their souls to the underwater heaven. And she's mirroring this with the Titanic and a legend. Actually, it's not a legend, it's true. A violin that was lost and then recovered. And, years later, it was tracked down to be from the Titanic. So Heather's song she is like the spirit of the violin. She's singing from the perspective of the violin. And we are the angels, the mermaids, coming to rescue this violin and make sure it gets back into civilization. So lots, no pressure. Heather Rankin does not swim. So not only am I having to be a mermaid, manage my other two mermaids, I'm also working with the director and the producer and the cinematographer who have never worked underwater before. We're giving them some tips, helping them figure out their filming. My husband is doing filming as well. Then I'm having to act underwater. So I'm going underwater. I can't see anything. My eyes are open in chlorine. um, you're only able to last as long as you can hold your breath. And because I have done this for so long, I can hold my breath longer than the people filming me can. So I have to kind of think about that. You cannot communicate underwater. I'm not wearing goggles. So if they're trying to give me signals, I'm not seeing them. They're kind of having to trust that I know what I'm doing. Give me instructions at the top, we'll go down and do it. So I'm having to remember all of this, keep myself safe. But now I'm also handling Heather Rankin, who's diving into the pool, and I'm going down to get her and staying out of the frame long enough for Heather to act and watching her body signals to know when she's ready to go up because she can't get herself back up, and swimming in there and bringing her up. So I'm doing this with my little sister who worked for me at the time. And before we jumped in, I said, we cannot let Heather Rankin drown. Our parents will disown us.
All of Atlantic Canada, yeah. That's so neat. Well, thank you so much. I love this. I can't wait to see it. We'll put some pictures in at the end too. So what's next for you?
We're working with Eastlink right now on a documentary that's going to double as a pilot for a TV series, and that is really exciting for us. We're gonna, we're sort of growing. Things have been different because of the pandemic. Our types of bookings have changed quite a bit. Just for instance, pool rates have gone up dramatically, so clients don't really have the budget to rent a pool and hire a mermaid anymore, and that used to be my bread and butter. So we've had to learn to pivot to alternate revenue streams, and one that's working out really well for us right now is YouTube. We just hit 500,000 subscribers on YouTube,
Oh,
and yeah, one of our videos has 87 million views. So so it's just been a learning process of how to monetize that, work with sponsors and affiliates, the kind of content that we want to put out. It's really funny because I started out really hands, boots on the ground or fins in the water,
yeah.
as you would,
Yeah.
really doing lots of parties, lots of this stuff.
Yeah.
And
Grassroots.
and now it's really this nice, like, okay, we're gonna do TV and YouTube, and we still do events, as they pop up. But those are our two big things right now, the TV
That's
show
amazing.
and
That's
YouTube. So
amazing.
fun.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations on the release of your book. It's beautiful. I took it with me to Mexico.
That's right.